inside heavy, face to face with Bleeding Through. Marta, keyboardist, is with us. Thanks for joining us, Marta.
Not a
Appreciate
problem.
it.
Not a problem at all.
You got a new album out.
Yes, we do.
Tell us about it.
It is our 6th album. It's called Bleeding Through. We figured we've been a band long enough. We've been a band for 10 years. Not that I've been with them the entire time, but Bleeding Through has existed for 10 years, and it was time to do a self-titled album. It's also, I think, our kind of a definitive Bleeding Through album. It, I think, really encompasses all of the sounds that Bleeding Through has ever strove to be. So.
There was some issues with your last record label. Now you're on Rise Records, and Craig Erickson is singing your praises. Does this? When I heard it was a self-titled CD after all this time, I thought, well, maybe this is a little bit of a rebirth. They feel
it absolutely is. It definitely is a rebirth for Bleeding Through, and we've gone through a lot of member changes. We've gone through, like I said, like kind of a couple different sounds, but I think that we're in a very good place right now. It is a new birth. We have a new label. We feel we're in a good spot mentally as a band, and I think that we're just hoping that we can continue to have things be good and progress in the way that Rise has shown us and our fans have shown us throughout the years.
Absolutely. Now, you recorded Planet Z with Zeus.
Yep.
How was that experience for you with Zeus? I mean, he's one of those guys that he's all over everything.
Yeah, he's awesome. He's very cool to work with. It was the second time we went out of Orange County and away from our home to record, far, and it was a good experience. It was solitary, and we're a band that likes to work hard, and he was perfect for that. He's there every day and is in it entirely. He's excellent. He was wonderful to work with, and we would like to work with him again for sure. And we're very stoked on how the album turned out.
You think it turned out good?
Absolutely.
What's the strongest points, would you say? If you was Simon Cowell,
oh my gosh,
what would you? Any critiques?
It's hard to say that, maybe because I'm so obviously familiar with all of our albums that I think everybody has just stepped it up with this. I think there's no one person doing something better, or it's not like Derek is a better drummer now, because of course he's a better drummer now. All of us, I think, are improving, and I don't know.
So you're just happy?
Yeah, all across the board. Very, very pleased.
All right. As a keyboardist, what do you bring to the band? The band's a heavy band.
True.
What do you bring?
Well, I think the keyboard element for Bleeding Through always kind of started as atmospheric and kind of undertones, which there is still that throughout Bleeding Through songs, new songs, old songs, and I think that throughout the years we kind of progressed into wanting more keys, wanting more melodic parts with keys, and moving towards a more black metal sound that incorporates just all around more use of the keyboard.
What's your background as far as the keys go? Are you pianist, all that kind of stuff?
I took classical piano forever and ever, and it's still, I think, what I like to play the most, and I think it actually incorporates really well into our sound. Not all the time, but often.
Do you get a chance to use any of that in the music?
Yeah, I think so. Here and there, yeah, definitely.
Have you ever heard of a band called Becoming the Archetype?
I've heard of them.
They do some kind of oddball things with the keys, as far as dirge type things.
Yeah.
And it's a little classical sound they incorporate sometimes.
I think that classical music actually fits fairly well together with metal. I think that there's some sort of bond between the two. They're both kind of, for the lack of a better word, epic and melodic and highly emotional.
Sure, absolutely. Touring wise, you got some big things happening with tours. This is just one of them. This is your headline tour, but you're going to join up with some other acts, aren't you, later?
Well, we have a festival run that we're going to be doing in Europe coming up in June, and Some of those are bigger. Yeah, some of those will be fun. You know, big festivals, and all the European festivals are really pretty awesome and successful. And we're playing some new ones this year in Scandinavia that we haven't played yet. And
they're fanatical about metal.
They really are. They're so serious about it. It's almost like they don't listen to anything else, or they don't care about anything else. That's like their one love, it seems.
You probably never heard of this. I'm sure you have heard of them. I don't know how much you've listened to them. There's a band called Manowar, been around forever.
Oh yeah.
They are like humongous overseas.
Yeah.
In places like Germany and places like that, 40,000-50,000 crowds, and here they don't even book a tour. I just talked to Joe DeMaio. He's the guitarist of the band just the other day, and he said metal's never been a fad over there.
Yeah.
It kind of is here from time to time. It's always there, but sometimes it flares up like it did in the 80s.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I mean, it's all a cultural thing. It's all everywhere you go is there's gonna be cultural differences. Even, you know, here versus California, there's cultural differences. There's music differences. There's, you know, people like different food. That's always going to exist.
I've heard there's no tenderloins in California. I don't believe that. I think someone could make $1 million if that was the case with tenderloins.
I bet there is. There's probably everything in California, it seems like.
You would think. Now, how did a classical pianist girl end up in a hardcore band?
I was a fan.
What band? Okay.
I was a fan of the band.
Of this band?
Of Bleeding Through, yeah. I played classical, but always listened to, well, everything. Always listened to metal, hardcore, you name it. I have probably liked it all. But yeah, met them at one of their shows, and, you know, put myself out there and said, if you ever need a keyboard player, let me know. And glad you're up.
Fantastic. Marta, I appreciate you taking time out.
Not a problem.
Have a good show tonight.
Thank you.
And good luck on your tours.
Thank
I hope
you.
the album continues successfully. Marta,
Knock on wood.
Bleeding Through Inside Heaven.